O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton and Ray. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. South Florida, listen carefully. Asmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Asmani Garcia delivers results. Asmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. Where are we at? Let's see. No, that's too much. That's about better. That's a little better. Anyway, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. Yes, we are here to have a little fun. I'm back. It's been like an interesting 2 days. I had the MRI yesterday for the head because I gotta meet the neurologist on Thursday, I believe. So I had to have the MRI, and remember I had trouble with the MRI the week before. So I went through the MRI yesterday and did it, and then it was at night. By the way, it was like a 6:30 appointment, and so walked out of there like by, I don't know, it was 8 or something like that, and then went to sleep early because I had to wake up early to do a stress test today. Got my damage. Got my damage done. So they did one of those nucleoid stress tests, nucleoid, whatever. Apparently I can't, if I travel and go through detection machines or whatever in the next 3 days, I will set them off because I'm a radioactive. I'm like the firm, radioactive. That's what I am right now. So I had the stress test. So they got an IV. They're checking your blood pressure. You're on a treadmill, all that kind of stuff. Because I have the stents in my heart. So I have 3 in one artery and 2 in the other. I had it like 7 years ago. So they need to find out and see if the blood flow and everything checks out and all that good stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, listen, I survived it. I'm here. So, and what's the worst part is? I went to sleep like around 11:10 last night. I went to sleep early. And I go, okay, I got to get up early. Let me go to sleep early. I'm going to try to get some rest. I woke up at 3 and just tossed and turned till my alarm rang at 6. Like, it was terrible for 3 hours. So I didn't get much rest. On the day I had to, on the night that I had to take the stress test, the morning of, just brutal. But it is what it is. We're here. So if I have bags like Samsonite, I apologize. I'm sorry. But it sucks as you get older. You want to sleep, but then the morning comes and you wake up like on Saturdays and Sundays. You're waking up earlier than you normally would. And just weird stuff, dude. Just weird stuff. Weird stuff. What can I tell you? Ooh, Omega Realty Group. There's my man, Osmani Garcia. All right. 30-day guarantee there, baby. So that's what's been going on with me. MRI yesterday, stress test today on short sleep. But I'm here to do the show, and we'll talk about a few things. No guests today. I'm not going to do much guests. The guests will pick up, like we'll have our regular guests that we have all week long, that we normally have. But the guests will pick up next week and the week after for the draft. I'll set up a bunch. And we'll go around the country and we'll talk to different people and we'll have some fun and we'll fill your draft need and all that. But I'm not going to do it every day. I get it that some sports talk shows have to do it and they're locked in and they have to. Should they take a guard or a defensive tackle or a corner? And then the next day, well, they really need the guard. And then the next day, they really need the defensive tackle. Whatever. So we'll get your draft fill as we get closer, but I'm not going to be talking about it 6 weeks out and every day and all that good stuff. There's other stuff to talk about, on the show, and we'll get to it. And we'll talk about how Terron Armstead retired and then Calais Campbell's playing for another team. And, oh, by the way, all those talk shows and podcasters and writers, they're not writing anymore about possibly Calais Campbell coming back or Terron Armstead. None of that silly shit. We're done with that silly shit now. Oh, they're going to be missing that leadership. Where are they going? Is that the new subject now? Is that what they're saying now? Where are they going to find the leadership? Like it's like a shock that those guys aren't coming back or something. Again, I don't waste your time with that stuff. You should appreciate me for that. Okay? You want to hate me for everything else? Fine. But appreciate that I don't dick you around and be lazy and start doing Terron Armstead shows on how much they need him and this and that and oh my God and all the FUD for Patrick Paul and then oh Calais Campbell and oh my God they now need another defensive tackle and this and that and you're acting surprised that they need another defensive tackle. You're surprised that he left? Wow, you didn't know it was coming? Man. You know, so now that we know it's official, I guess it's like the stupidest shit in the world. Like I knew neither guy. The people in the building did not expect them to come back. The people in the building were moving on. The only way those two guys come back is there's like a miracle. That's it. And there was no miracles to be found. Come on, man. It's just, come on. Nobody's sacrificing themselves for this team. And if you haven't read the tea leaves and all that, people aren't dying to be part of this team. If they can get off the sinking ship, they're getting off the sinking ship. Okay? You know? It's just... Anyway. So I'm just telling you. So just in case. But it's just funny how we got all of that. But it is what it is. What are you going to do? True Fin Fan. What's up, brother? Nothing to look at, people. Just the 7,911th time Big O predicts what's going to happen. Thank you for always telling the truth, Big O. You got him, baby. You got it. Appreciate you. I think we had, I think I had another True Fin Fan tweet over the weekend. Can you check my timeline there? I think we had another True Fin Fan tweet over the weekend. You don't really follow X, so you never catch up with that. We have to like put it back up here. Yeah, because I think there was one. Horn Dog is in the house as we do a little roll call. He's excited about the 6-11 Dolphin season. Yeah, I know it's hard, bro. It's hard. Oh, yes. Yes. The market on Friday. Is that Friday's tweet, right? Is that Friday's tweet? The market is down 2,200 points. Okay? 2,200 points. The market is down. Everything's crashing all over the world. And look at the only thing that was pumping like, I don't know, what was it, like 26% at that point in time? Fart coin. I mean, you know, True Fin Fan. Fucking fart coin. Fart coin was pumping in the middle of everything. Where is fart coin right now? That was Friday. But of course, True Fin Fan, you don't follow that stuff, you know, and it's like, it's there, and it's like your own coin and stuff, and you're not following it. What is wrong with you? The world is going to shit. The markets are crashing. You people investing in gold and copper and soybeans and orange and Bitcoin. Fart coin up 12% right now in the middle of a market that's crashing. Fart coin. The power of the fart coin. The Dow is down 697 points. The S&P's down almost 62. The NASDAQ's down a quarter. At some point, it's been down 1,000, 1,600 today. Fart coin pumping. What are we going to do? So, True Fin Fan. Powerful farts. Powerful crypto. Strong by you, sir. Jeff in Long Island is in there. Did well in the MRI. I had an open MRI machine instead of the closed one. Okay. So, but it went well. It took great pictures, apparently, all that kind of stuff. It's like a really modern machine, 3.5 or something. It's like a really high grade or whatever the hell, some crap. I don't know the technicalities of it, but I've been finding out about it. So anyway, all good. So now the neurologist will get the results. I got a little CD that I took home with me yesterday from the MRI. So the doctors have it. So now they get to check it all out. NorCal is in. Captain Sake in Tarpon Springs. Jay Gelfin is in the house. Hit that subscribe button. That's right. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Please, please, please. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. Gus 1388. Oh, Dalton Reisner. Yeah. We told you it would start. Didn't we? We told you it would start. I went to sleep around 11:10 yesterday, so I didn't stay up to see the Channel 7 broadcast at, the Drew Rosenhaus segment. But this morning on my timeline, good old Barry Jackson, who does an exceptional job, okay, following sports and covering sports. He says on his weekly segment on WSVN 7, Drew Rosenhaus, asked about Dolphins O-line, mentions he has free agent Dalton Reisner. He was PFF's number 22 overall guard last season and would make a lot of sense. Dolphins O-line coach Butch Berry coached him in Denver. Another free agent guard would be helpful so Miami can focus on DT and CB in the draft. Okay, let's just overlook the fact that he's been available year in and year out, and they never even bring him in to say, hey, how you doing? But, mentions he has, So, I mean, what is that segment on Channel 7? It's his own promotion for his own players. And if there's anything really hard hitting, they're not going to be asked there about it because, of course, they can't piss him off. So, whatever, dude. Let's just overlook. Let's overlook the fact that they need a guard and he's out there and they don't even bother to bring him in. Year in and year out and all that good stuff. But no, hey, everybody, you keep writing it. You keep telling us about Dalton Reisner. It fills a segment. It fills a tweet. It fills a space in the paper. Some Dolphin podcaster. Did you hear about Dalton Reisner? Drew Rosenhaus mentioned them for the Dolphins. Let's not mention that they pass on him every other year. Maybe, you know what? Maybe if the Dolphins suffer like 8,000 injuries on whatever guards they have and there's nobody left on earth, and maybe they could go to Dalton at that point or something. But we predicted this. Did we not predict the Dalton Reisner thing what was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? We had that Dalton Reisner conversation. What was it? It was last week? You're telling me? I don't understand your sign language like this. I'm not sure.
I was trying to get a drink of water as you were talking. Friday, you said it.
It was Friday?
I believe it was, yeah.
There you go. Drew
Rose talking about all the things going on now, and you said, just so you know,
yeah,
the next thing that's going to be brought up is you're going to hear Dalton Reisner probably again.
I'm boring on this show, bro. And I apologize for my boringness. Okay? I apologize that most of the time I'm just going to tell you, look, that's just not real. No, this is more likely to happen. This is unlikely to happen. This could, whatever. And I really apologize that I just tell you actually honestly what is really going on. That's all. I don't know. I just really don't want to do shit for just clicks. It's just I'm 58, dude. I don't have time for this, bro. You know what I mean? I'd rather get the message out, tell you this, that, and let's stay away from all the bullshit. Let's just dance around it. There's no reason. Lenny Pena, the Sportstradamus has struck again. You were right, Big O. Armstead headed for retirement. Man, this is going to be a long year. Yeah, but you already knew he was going to retire. If those of us on this show, y'all were prepared. Y'all knew that Calais wasn't coming back. Y'all knew this guy was going to retire or not come back here for sure. Apparently, he needs a knee replaced and shit. Unfortunately. Whew, that body gets beaten up from that game, man. Cosa Nostra, Ragin is in the house. Skylar Tipton, Oscar Rojas is smashing it from Melbourne. Ray Sosa, thank you, sir. One-Eyed Jack. Yes, I'm feeling good, man. And I bought the dip. I bought it at 75. My daughter has called me this morning. Bought the dip. It's great. So, yeah, I'm loving it, dude. I got me more Ollie. I got more Cass in the 5-cent area. Oh, yeah, dude. I'm good. I am not even concerned. I have no worries whatsoever. Okay? So, let's see. What else do we have? To me, it's just an opportunity to stack more and lower my overall price on something, not Bitcoin, but on other things like Caspa, like Ollie for me, personally, things like that. So yeah, definitely. I love it. Let's see. What else do we go with? Dan, the film gent says, shall we start by giving, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Today, we have a couple of victory cigars to dish out. First, you are correct, sir. Let's give it to Mickey Harrison. Let's give that man a victory cigar for getting inducted into the NBA, into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. There you go. Well, actually, I think that's the only one because the Red Wings beat the Panthers. The Heat lost over the weekend to Milwaukee. Toronto and Inter Miami tied. Tampa Bay beat Fort Lauderdale United. But UConn did beat South Carolina in the finals of the NCAA Women's Championship. So we got the men's tonight. We'll see who we give the cigar to tomorrow. We might have to even give it to a Gator. Holy shit. But tonight, or this morning, we give it to UConn. Champion. There you go. Florida, by the way, favored by 1 tonight. The over and under is 141.5. And we'll see what happens tonight between the two. Hell of a comeback for Houston. Hell of a choke job by Duke, which I got to tell you, I mean, do you need any more proof there, Boozer boys? Why you want to be part of a choking program like that? What's wrong with you people? Huh? Just because dad went to Duke? No. You make your own path, young men. Okay? My dad had a successful trucking business. I had no intentions on following that. None whatsoever. Okay? I want to make my own way. Do my own thing. My daughter, she's doing her own thing. You got to go do your own thing. So do your own thing. Okay? Anyway, what else do we have going on? Vamos Gatos in the house. Brian Landis, Big Johnson, Ron Studd, He chose total knee replacement, which ended his career. Yeah, well, it's a lot better than playing for the Dolphins. It's a wasted year, dude. Look, in the end, can I be just brutally honest? We can all talk about, oh, I want this defensive tackle. I want this safety. I want that corner. I want this guard, whatever. Hey, they should take a quarterback if he's available at 13 to try to trade him out and get more, whatever you think, okay? Bottom line is, as I've mentioned a couple of times, is Mike McDaniel going to be a better coach this year? Because this team is not going to be as good as last year's team. So you're going to need an even better coach. Here's a guy that has regressed. Here's a guy that the league has figured out. So you're all of a sudden going to become a really good coach. You're going to get plays in on time. Your players are going to be all lined up all the time. No pre-snap penalties. You know, you're going to win challenges, all that kind of stuff. So all of a sudden, Mike McDaniel in year 4 is going to erase all his ills. He's going to know what play it is, what down it is. He's not going to make any mistakes. All the shit that he does for 3 years. All of a sudden now he's going to erase them all in year 4 and elevate himself and elevate his team. Really? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? Did Joe Philbin get any better? I'm sorry, did Sperano get any better? Did Adam Gase get any better? I'm just wondering. Did Wanstead get any better? No. Sorry, once you know what they are, do they get any better? Or does it get worse? I'm going to go with the latter. So in the end, you can make all the changes you want. You can argue with your friends. You can argue with your coworkers. We should have taken this player or that player. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because the chef in the kitchen does not know how to maximize the ingredients. So it doesn't matter what talent you give him. We're chasing our tails. We're lying to ourselves. And hey, it's cool, dude. If you want to lie to yourself and try to, talk yourself up as the off season goes on, you go ahead and do that. I'll wait till it actually happens, and then I'll be pleasantly surprised. But meanwhile, I'm going to watch because I love them. I'm going to root for them, but I'm expecting the worst. Okay? And I'm expecting losses and maybe more than wins or barely 500 because, obviously there's no 500. It's either 9 or 8 wins, so, or maybe there's a tie in our future this year, 8-8-1. Okay. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not expecting much because it's the most unrealistic thing in the world to think that Mike McDaniel is all of a sudden going to fix all his shit. That's just, that makes no sense. The guy makes the same mistakes every year. He has never gotten better. And that sucks. He still can't counter anybody. And he needs a year to figure shit out. His and ahs for counter last an entire calendar year. I'm sorry. It's just, that's the part that I can't get past that part. I don't know about you guys. If you do, you're really good at lying to yourselves, or as one of our favorite words here, you're compartmentalizing to the max. You're actually stashing away the reality. And you're just creating another fantasy. You're swimming in the ocean. There's a great white right next to you, but you're like, no, it's all cool. If I don't look his way, Jabba Jaw won't notice me. Okay? Gotcha. I mean, yeah, he won't notice. Yeah, no, I just keep swimming. He won't notice. Just don't look. Don't look. I can't. I see the great white. I see how bad it is. And I see myself inside its stomach already, and that's the season. It's not a dolphin. It's a great white that's going to eat me up alive. Let's see. Horn Dog says, Damo, I just did a stress test this morning as well. I hate the tread. I know the treadmill is just brutal, dude. 5 more seconds. We're going higher and faster. Yay! How much more? We got to get your heart rate up to, what was it, 130, 135, 134, or some shit like that, or some crap. I was stuck at like 105 for a while. And I go, this is a bad thing, right? And she goes, well, yes and no. It's a good thing because you're not in bad shape because your heart rate is harder to get up. But yeah, it's a bad thing because you got to keep working. Yeah, Horn Dog, it's a pain in the ass, bro. Anyway, Juan Rosa says, Kai the Hitchhiker says, smash, smash, smash the like button. Thank you, sir. Sam the Man. Big O was right. Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate you. Dan the Film Gen says, I mean, are we really surprised Terron is gone? I've been saying it since they drafted the Patrick Paul kid that Terron would be gone. I prepare for this, and Paul will be fine. He's got to get it done. That's what you drafted him for. Get it done. The Panthers, bro, they're resting people. They got a bunch of people injured. They didn't take the end of the season last year serious. I told you guys last year that they ended up in 3rd place. They were at 4th for a bit, and then they kind of got into the 3rd at the end. They're proven. Home ice means nothing in the NHL, and those guys know it. So they don't give a shit if they have to start off on the road. Did you watch one of the shows, the Fox show? The dude, they had the guy on the far on the left of the screen. That he's like he's kind of like that character from the soccer show that he becomes an assistant coach, and he's kind of really verbal and all that shit. What's the name of that damn soccer show that's on Apple? That became an enormous hit. You know which one I'm talking about. But and I don't remember the guy either. The guy with the short black hair. Well, they got a hockey guy that I compare him to that guy, and he put on his tinfoil hat. I forgot the guy's name and all that. He's a trip. He's always fun to watch. And he was screaming like, I know what the Panthers are doing, and the commissioner needs to investigate the Panthers because they're purposely coasting the rest of the way, and now they're going to be locked up with my Toronto Maple Leafs. And then, and basically he's saying, like, this is bullshit. The best team in the league is going to be playing at a lower seed and going to be taking advantage, of Toronto, which basically that's the way I think about it too. I will worry about the Panthers when they're losing in the playoffs. Then I'll worry. But for now, they're not healthy. As long as let me be fair. Here's where I'll worry. Okay, we get to the end of the season. We're going to start the playoffs, and Tkachuk can't come back, and Barkov can't come back, and like the big guys, like we find out their injuries are much more serious, and they're going to go halfway into the playoffs. That would be my first stage of concern. Then, of course, the losing would be my second stage. But right now, when I see a lot of the shit they pulled last year again, nah, no concerns. None whatsoever. But Brooklyn Rob says, I wish I could retire like Terron, but the market may prevent that from happening for a few years. I think they'll pump in at the back end, bro. 3rd, 4th quarters, I think we're going to have. he's not going to want a recession. So he's one way or another, he'll get Powell to cut the rates. They've already lowered the 10-year bond rate, as we've told you, that they need to refinance $9.2 trillion this year. So they're trying to get it under 4. They want to get it between 3 and 3.5. We're hovering at the 4 rate right now. So we need to bring it down at least a 0.5 point more. So there's going to be more shock and awe to the markets, and expect it. That's just kind of the way it is. They need to lower it so then they can refinance the debt at a lower rate. That's what they're trying to do. It's just they're not going to tell people like that up front. Tell them, hey, we need to shock the hell out of the markets and, hang on to your 401ks, and folks, don't sell your stocks because we're going to pump and we're going to print, but we can't do it right now. Right now, we need to do shock and awe because we need to bring the 10-year yield down to 3.5, so we can refinance $9.2 trillion of our debt because we can't allow it to mature because we don't have money to pay for it. So they're going to refinance. They'll raise the debt ceiling. They'll do all the things that they normally do. Powell will lower the rates. They'll start the printer. But I think it'll happen now in the third and the fourth quarters now, because Trump can't allow it to go any further than that because he doesn't want a recession on his hands. And he has to knock it out of the park in the next year because midterms come in 1.5 years, really, in 2 years. And if they are a disaster, the Republicans will get cleaned out in the House and the Senate. They'll lose both. And then Trump won't do anything in the back half of his term because everything will be locked out. So the Republicans and Trump, no, they're pressured. They have technically a year, 12 months to make this shit happen. So as I would tell you, Brooklyn Rob, or I would tell any investor, I'm not a financial advisor. The rubber will meet the road at one point or another. So either these tariffs work, and if they don't, then they will print, because nothing else we've done has worked. So now they're trying something different. This is what you voted for, okay? Now we got to suck it. Hey, my ass got really fat. I put a lot of fat in my body, and I ended up clogging 2 of my arteries to like the 97 percentile. I needed 5 stents, okay? And guess what? Now, because I was stupid and irresponsible with my body, now I got to go through things like this. I got to go through every few years. I got to go through a stress test and all that. It's my fault. So it's our fault. We have picked one bad president after another, as I've told you 1,000 times. From Bush Jr. to Obama to Trump to Biden, $30 trillion they printed of debt. $6 trillion for Bush, $8 trillion for Obama. Both of them did it in 8 years. $8 trillion for Trump in 4, and $8 trillion for Biden in 4. That's $30 trillion. If you do the math, we're 37 under. Those 4 did 30 of the 37. We've got 1 of the 4 back. Okay? So he's going to print also. They all print. It'll happen. They'll juice the hell out of the markets. So don't worry about it. It'll be artificial, but they'll juice it. So hang in there. Not a financial advisor, but I think that's the game that's being played right now. That's all. So, and again, we voted for this, so now we got to hang in there and see if it works, or we're screwed. Either way, we were screwed anyways. So, but nothing anybody was doing was working. Everybody was in a deficit. Every single one. So, whatever it is, we move on, dude. Let's just hope for the best for all of us. That's all we can do. Brian Landis is getting some fart coin. You're a smart man. True Fin fan, loving that fart coin. There we go. Frankie Val. Let's see. Thank you, True Fin fan. Thank you for the love. J-Town says a great day to DCA. That's dollar cost average for you youngins out there in the investment world. But I'm out of cash. No powder. You got to have some powder. The segment on Channel 7 is nothing more than a business investment. Yeah, it's a promo for him every time. Zakaneer, what up, Big O? I'm trying to get into crypto, but don't know where to start. You know, it's super easy, bro. Not a financial advisor, sir. Go to Cash App, open your account, buy your Bitcoin. Go to tangem.com. 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 Purchase your cold storage wallet, sir. It'll cost you about $60 and get the 3 cards. You'll get it at your home in a couple weeks. Start right now. Bitcoin only. Right now. Bitcoin. Keep it simple for you. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. And that's it. And then amass some Bitcoin. And you have 3 options. Choose the third option when you send. It's free. So you're only paying the fee to buy. You're not paying the fee to send, which is really good. So it's great for a beginner. And then you can just load it up and pass it over to your Tangem wallet. And that's it, my brother. Start off. If you're a newbie, just keep it Bitcoin, bro. Right now, take advantage of this damn dip. Take advantage, sir. And God bless you and good luck to you, my man. All right, let's see. Frankie going to be on the edge of his seat tonight. Yeah, man. At least he's got a horse in the race. We don't. Jay Slim buying more Ollie. Good for you, sir. So did I. Brett Dodger, Keno Smith, Ocala Joe, Zakaneer. There's so many people out here trying to sell. Yeah, that's how it is. Jay Slim, Fitzgerald Grass, looks like a 7-win season. I'm just, it's McDaniel. You know, last year we should have won 11, 12, or 13 games. Instead of 8, they should have, you all know that you could go back to see and say, there's 3 games there they easily should have won. Could have been 4 or 5. So that means McDaniel underachieved with the talent that he was given. 3 to 5 games. And then he hurts us by not knowing the talent because he had Skylar Thompson there for 3 years. That's embarrassing, dude. That's a big indictment on a coach that you don't know dick. You know? So let's see. Ocala Joe says, good to know that you can do an open MRI with head injury and you got it done. Weather forecast for today for serious investors is stack, 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 and stack again. Amen to that. Skylar says, Mike from Dolphins Talk is convinced Greer and McDaniel will be back if we win 8+. No, they won't. They need to win in the playoffs. They need to get to the playoffs and they need to win. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with them on that one. They're going to win. They're going to have to win. I don't know how you bring McDaniel back. Again, here's where we differ a little bit. I don't think our personnel is as bad as people make it out to be. I think the personnel has screwed up with the wrong coaches, and that has screwed them. As I've mentioned over and over and over again, you screw up with your coaches, and then your coaches are constantly screwing up with their assistant coaches. So then philosophies change and all that, and then you're constantly changing players, and then it just it doesn't create any kind of synergy. It's a pain in the ass, dude. So that's where they've hurt themselves. They haven't gotten the right coaches. They've had talent that they should have won more each year. It's just the coaches haven't done their job, unfortunately, especially the head coach. So that to me is the real problem. Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's all-time record yesterday. Yeah, that was awesome. That was great. And he did it with one less game, I think. But the thing with Gretzky, see, here's the thing. Can you look it up for me? Because I don't know right now off the top of my head the assist totals of Gretzky and Ovechkin. And so, since they've played the same amount of games, 1 game less, go ahead and tell me the assist total. And I bet you there's a major difference between Gretzky and Ovechkin. Because if I remember correctly, it wasn't only that he was a great goal scorer, but he was also a phenomenal assist man. So I'm pretty sure he beats Ovechkin I bet he has a nice lead on Ovechkin in assists. And that's where I think, it's not really mentioned, but hey, man, dude, Ovechkin is such a stud, bro. Such a dominating stud. He's awesome. Ted Lasso. Thank you, Brooklyn Rob. That's it. Ted Lasso. Let's see what else. What a BS headline. He chose retirement over another season. This is why I hardly ever actually watch or listen to you. 90% of what you say is BS. I just said he wasn't coming back, dude. I don't know. I've said for a while that him and Calais were never coming back to this team. I don't know why. And I don't know why you're here. So I'm not exactly sure. If you don't like me, here, Blue-Eyed Gemini, get rid of him already. He doesn't like me. He doesn't want to. He barely watches. Dude, I don't need you to watch it all. There. Now you're blocked, and now you'll never be able to text again or anything like that. So you can leave, dude. I'm not asking you to stay, dude. I don't care. I don't understand you people. If you don't like someone, why are you even watching them? To be a troll? I mean, that's like a first-class loser. So nobody's asking you to be here, dude. Yeah. What do you got?
All right. Wayne Gretzky had 1,963 assists.
And?
Ovechkin? 724.
1,200 assist difference?
Yep.
Wow. I knew there would be a difference, but holy shit. That's why you can't do the Wayne Gretzky Ovechkin comparisons. But listen, man, most people don't follow hockey. In
total points, Wayne Gretzky's 2857 and Ovechkin is 1619.
It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. I saw Wayne Gretzky play. You know what I mean? So it's different. I've watched Ovechkin's career and I watched Gretzky's career. I'm old, bro. I've seen it. I've seen it all during my lifetime, at least in this half century. And that's where you kind of, you can't, Gretzky's not like that goal scorer. That's not really, just because he has the record, that doesn't mean that you look at him that way. You had to look at him as that complete player that was just magical in everything he did, So that's kind of the winning kind of helps too. Yeah. So, Gretzky has, of course. That's why Gretzky is Gretzky, Brett. I mean, it's just different, Wait, come to a show on someone you don't like. Explain this to me. I don't ever understand that, True Fin. I never understand that. It's not like anybody's asking you to be here, bro. It's like, and if anybody knows my show, brother, nobody's better at predicting what goes on in South Florida sports than yours truly. Brian Radke, you are a stud, sir. Thank you. Remember, you can support our show, not like that shithead there, but you can support our show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Just like Brian Radke says, thanks for the awesome platform. I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you very much, my friend. And thank you for supporting the show. Remember, you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. On Venmo, you can make it, and on Cash App, you can make a Bitcoin donation, which we love it, and especially on a dip like today. Dip, baby, dip, baby, dip. Oh, I love it. Send it in. And remember, for those of you that live out of the country, you can also make a donation through PayPal. And we want to go to one road trip this year, one special road trip. Last year, we went to several, thanks to one of our great sponsors, R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall, which you can call Ray or Mike if you live here in South Florida, home or condo, by the way, because a lot of people in condos need some help. Ray and Mike can help you out with that. They helped us go to several road trips this year. NorCal and Company helped us go to another road trip. So a lot of our road trips last year, but this year we're not looking to do a lot of the road trips. We want to do just one, and we want to go to Spain. And so if you can support us, make any kind of donation, use that QR code there that Sean Stanley will share with you, and you can put in a donation there. Any kind of donation will be highly, highly thankful for. So we appreciate that if you can. So use that QR code there and make the donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you all. All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Your company, your corporation, your school, your entity, whatever. You need T-shirts or hats or uniforms, whatever it is that you need, call Alan Blanco. You can do all of that through Zoom and email and all that because that's how everybody does it anyways. Nobody really goes to printing and embroidery places, companies. They usually do all this online. So you can call them. This is the owner's cell number, 786-618-1443. The Red Wings beat our Panthers last night 2-1, while the Cats have a bunch of injuries and they rested a bunch of players. Don't concern yourself. Tuesday, by the way, they'll take on the Leafs at Amaranth Bank. 7 o'clock will be the face-off. Tonight, 7:30, Heat look to bounce back from back-to-back losses, and they take on the sorry 76ers. They're favored by 14.5 points. I got to tell you, I don't know. I mean, I like the Heat tonight for sure, but I don't know if I'd lay 15 points. I might take the Sixers here just for fun. The Heat will win, but, man, laying 14.5 is crazy, even though the Sixers are mailing it in. Over and unders 213. They lost to Milwaukee 121-115 in overtime on Saturday. Inter Miami. Messi got a goal in the first half, but it wasn't enough. They played to a 1-1 draw on Sunday night at Chase Field. Wednesday, CONCACAF Cup action at Chase Field. They will host LAFC. Remember, they lost to LAFC 1-0. So they've got to win by 2 goals in order to advance. All right. 8 o'clock against LAFC on Wednesday. And then Sunday, their MLS action will be against the Chicago Fire, and that'll be at 4:30. Tampa Bay FC defeated our girls here in Fort Lauderdale 2-0 on Saturday. Fort Lauderdale had 60% of the possession, but they outshot them too. Just could not get a couple of scores that they needed in order to win. Saturday, they'll take on the DC Power and NCAA women's action. The finals yesterday as UConn wins the national championship. They defeat South Carolina 82-59. Paige Beckers, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Sarah Strong, 24 points and 15 rebounds. And Azzy Fudd, she added 24 points. UConn dominated, dude. Dominated. Tonight, 8:50, men's national championship. Number 1 Florida versus number 1 Houston. Florida favored by 1. The over and under is 141.5. Great job by Duke choking. And Dolphins offensive tackle Terron Armstead announced his retirement over the weekend. Had a retirement party. Tua and many others were there to celebrate his career, a class act, and retired. And we told you he wouldn't be coming back to the Miami Dolphins. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. All right. All right. Hey, by the way, Welton and Ray are 2 guys that you are going to love if you need bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom, nobody better. I've seen it in action. Many of our listeners have seen it. And right now, there's a bunch of our listeners on the West Coast that are in the middle of it all. So we had some of our listeners that listen on the West Coast, and they went through 2 storms. So a few of them reached out. Some of our listeners in South Florida. We had a listener in Orlando. all of that. So appreciate you as always for supporting us by supporting the great sponsors that we have here. And Jeff and Dan, listen, if you've got an issue or you think something happened that you think you've got a case, call them. The consultation is completely free. Dan or Jeff will listen, and then they'll tell you if you got a case and what you have to do. Reach out, 954-966-4646. All right. Big O, I'm from the same hometown as Gretzky, says Brett Dodger, and actually coached against him in minor league hockey. Wow. That's pretty cool. True Fin Fan says, if I was a hater, I'd root for Houston. Hell, I might even buy a Houston jersey, but I just don't care about the Gators winning or losing. It's all about the U. Yeah. And to me, I'm even worse, True Fin Fan. Like, college basketball doesn't mean that much to me. You know what I mean? It's just, you got some years on you too. I'm not going to say you're an old fart like me, but you lived the 80s and the 90s. So if you lived any of those decades, there's no comparison. It's like we're getting ripped off every day. When I watch college basketball, I'm like, what is this, dude? What am I watching? Like, are you kidding me? I had 5 Slamma Jamma. I got to watch this shit? Fuck out of here. Boeheim's Syracuse team loaded. Georgetown loaded. No, dude. No. Duke and UNLV for 2. No. I'm not doing it. It's just that's the bad. Like today when I had my stress test, they inject you with some shit that's like kind of like radioactive, right? Because it's how they measure the blood flow and all that kind of crap. And you when they inject you, you get this taste in your mouth immediately, right? And that's college basketball now. It's just a bad taste in my mouth. Like, bro, what's going on? What is this? Like is this like kiddie basketball? Like, did you guys take away my college basketball and then now you're showing me the JV, what would be freshmen's like playing? Is that what you're showing me? You're showing me a bunch of freshmen playing? Am I watching J.R. Reed come off the bench as a freshman for North Carolina in a loaded roster? No. It's not the same. It's hard if we're honest, okay? If we're all honest, anybody that lived those decades, 80s and the 90s, and then they watch college basketball now, well, man, come on. You just, come on. I'm a fan all the way, but my 2 daughters went to UF, and you know how that goes. Yeah, dude, I get it. I got no problem with that. That is all good in the hood, as they say. So I'm with you on that one. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? So Terron Armstead retires. I don't want to get into Tyreek Hill and his stupid video where he like looks at, reacting on, it's just, he's just an idiot. We've got Drew Rosenhaus trying to sell Dalton Reisner. We got all of that going on. By the way, Mickey Harrison getting inducted into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. I forgot what number it was, but it's like, I think it's like the 8th or 10th person in the Heat organization that's associated with the Hall of Fame or some crazy number like that. It's like what's it called? I saw it, Joe Shad. Maybe he got it from somewhere else, but I saw it on Joe Shad's feed. It came up on my timeline, like Terron Armstead He had like 2,200 and something snaps and allowed 5 sacks. So for the Heat organization, whatever it is, 8 or 10 people to be associated now with the Hall of Fame, that's pretty amazing. Kind of like Terron Armstead, 5 sacks and like 2,200 snaps for the Dolphins. That's some shit right there. No, those are some fun stats over the weekend that the Heat have that many people already. It's a young organization, and it hasn't been around like other organizations that have been around for 50, 70 years and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see that this organization in such a short time, and basically in the Pat Riley era, really in the Mickey Harrison, Pat Riley era, is where all your Hall of Famers are coming from. They're not coming from 4, 5 years, 6 years, whatever the hell it was before them, right? Whenever they took over, it was only a few years, right? I think. And then these guys took over. So, or maybe it was a little longer. I'm not exactly sure now, but yeah. Yes, sir.
No, I just wanted to say it's 11. I just looked it up, and
11. Wow.
Billy Cunningham from 86. He's a former player, and Bob McAdoo, 2000. Everything else is since Pat Riley, 2008, Gary Payton, 2013.
And I wouldn't count Billy Cunningham. He was just like a half-ass owner of ours. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was just a shyster that was just trying to flip the team. I wouldn't even call him real Heat because he wasn't even trying to win. McAdoo, yes, because he paid his dues and has been with us for a long, long time and helped players and helped mold players and all that kind of stuff. And was able to take a lot of money from players over the years playing horse with them. So, that's another thing too that McAdoo has under his belt there, that he took a lot of money from players out there thinking that he still couldn't shoot. And it was just like really stupid move to challenge Bob McAdoo to a shooting contest. So a lot of players lost a lot of money. So I'm going to give McAdoo a lot of love. So I'm going to say, you said 11?
Yeah, but that included Cunningham, McAdoo, Gary Payton, Zoe, Shaq, Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, Tim Hardaway, Dwayne Wade, and of course now Mickey Harrison.
Yeah. I'm good with all of those except Cunningham. I'll exclude Cunningham. I'll say 10 legit Heat people.
Was he a former player too, or something in the NBA, or did he play?
Billy Cunningham?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kangaroo? Hell yeah, dude. Yes.
No, that's why he made it in. It says former player. That's why when you said owner, I was kind of like,
no. Billy Cunningham was a heck of a player. He was a hell of a coach. I was a Sixers fan. He was my coach.
Okay.
I love Billy Cunningham pre-Heat, actually. Any of us that understand the history and know the history, but once he became, once we found out why he came here, he really wasn't trying to really establish a culture and win and all that. He just came because he got him and Louis Chaffel got the rights to the team. So they knew that they were getting a prime new market. So they figure, okay, we'll get in and then we'll flip the team in a few years, which they did and made. I want to say, if you go look back, I want to say each of them made around 30 million. Okay, which back then was a lot of money. Obviously, it's mincemeat compared to now. That's why you got to hodl. You got to hold. When you got a good investment, you hold, you let it grow. Anyway, but back then, I think they made like 30 million each or something. I want to say, whatever. It was a long time ago. And so I personally, as a true Miami guy, as a 305 till I die guy, that I love this town. If you're not for my town, I'm going to be against you. And to me, Billy Cunningham was a fraud. I know he's passed away and all that stuff. I give him all the credit for all the pre-Heat stuff, and he was fantastic there. But him and Louis Chaffel, no. So I'm going to go 10. So great stat, 10. 10 people in the Heat organization already tied to the Hall of Fame. That's freaking awesome, dude. It's freaking awesome. What else do we have? Shang Tu Sheng. Oh, I'm hearing Brandon Shore put the cuffs on Greer and was told not to. You're whatever, bro. Who cares? I'm hearing Marvin Allen might be, whatever, bro. Who cares? Again, we'll see whatever happens, and we'll find out. All people are doing now is filling time and talking shit, dude. They don't know anything. Okay. They don't know anything about Marvin Allen being the next guy or anybody else or whatever, So it's just, who knows? Let's see. What else do we have? Billy Kane, Louis Chaffel made so many bad decisions those first few years with the Heat. One of them was deciding to trade Steve Smith for Kevin Willis. No, and they offered Hot Rod Williams, that from Cleveland. They offered him a contract, which was a terrible contract because that was not a guy that you wanted to give money. Yeah, it was. They were bad. They were only here to wait for enough time to build the value and flip the team and make some money and get out. And that's exactly what they did. And I'm pretty sure that I'm even close to remembering the amount of money each of them made, because I think I remember, I've been doing talk shows long enough, and I think it was like $30 million each. Yes, sir.
You nailed it. They sold 40% of the team for $60 million, which would equate to about $30 million each.
I don't know, dude. Born and raised here, cover Miami sports for 35 years. Some shit sticks to my head. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. It is what it is, But hey, I'm always wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm ever talking about. Let's see. What else do we have? By the way, the Duke choke job was not that I really watched it. I saw the highlights after because it went crazy on social media, but it was fun to see down the stretch to switch over and watch I think they scored like a basket in the last 10 minutes, something like that. I thought that was, I got to say that I thought that was phenomenal. Much props to Duke on that choke job. That was a special ass choke job. That was one that is for the ages. Okay. Let's go with some musicians, by the way. Why don't we do that? All right, let's start off with April 7th. Who we start with? Bruce Gary, drummer for the Knack, My Sharona, born in 1952. Ron Kersey. I don't know anything about this. Right now I'm finding out about it just like you are. Ron Kersey, known as Ron Have Mercy Kersey. That's a name for the ages right there. American keyboardist, songwriter, producer, and arranger, most known for writing the music to the 70s hit disco Inferno by the Tramps. How about that? So my man wrote, Ron Have Mercy Kersey is the man that wrote Disco Inferno. Good for him. John Oates from Hall & Oates, born on this date in 1949. And let's see. Dallas Taylor, best known as session drummer for Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Also appearing on Stephen Stills' solo album 2. Taylor was the drummer for Stills' group Manassas in 72, 73, and 70, and sat in with the Doors, accompanying John Densmore on drums. How about that? Who else celebrating birthdays today? Billie Holiday, by the way. Singer, songwriter, musician. Eleanor Harris, the greatest female jazz singer of all time, born in 1915, Billie Holiday. All right, let's go with famous folk celebrating birthdays today on April 7th. Jackie Chan is 71. Russell Crowe. I just saw a movie of Russell Crowe over the weekend. It was, oh God, what was it called? Damn it. It was like some Geostorm, it was called. It's an older movie, a couple years. Entertaining, I got to say. I enjoyed it. Never seen it before until this weekend. Let's see, who else? Celebrating birthdays. Kind of a weak list I'm seeing here. Adrian Beltre, the baseball player, 46. And Francis Ford Coppola, director, 86. All right. Sean Stanley, sir, do you have any wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Abaddon, she turns 33. Toro Blanco turns 57. Sonjay Dutt turns 43. Darren Drozdoff was born on this date in 1969. Sadly, we lost him in 2023. He was injured in the ring and left paralyzed for life. Rosie was born on this date in 1970, passed away in 2017. And Virgil was born on this date in 1951. We lost him in 2024. Those are your birthdays for April 7th, 2025.
Figured I'd yawn. Haven't slept since 3 a.m., so it's a weird thing, bro. Just woke up like at 3 a.m., and then I couldn't sleep anymore. Weird as shit. All right, let's go with music history. What happened today on April 7th in music history? In 88, Alice Cooper nearly died of asphyxiation after a safety rope broke during a concert stunt where the singer hung himself. In 94, Courtney Love. In 62, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards met future Rolling Stones guitarist Brian Jones at the Ealing Jazz Club, where Jones was performing under the name Elmo Lewis. In 81, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band kicked off their first ever full-scale European tour. The group's first trek outside of North America began in Hamburg, Germany, and took them to 10 countries. In 78, the Police released Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. The single didn't chart in England or the U.S. until the following year. That's happened with several songs over the history of music, that they don't bust out when they first come out. And then for some reason, like the Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star, did not blow up when it first came out. It blew up after MTV put it on the map. And this, many songs are like that in the history of time. I believe Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction came out and it did nothing for a while. And then it was like almost like a year later or something like that, or 9 months later or something, that's when it started to catch some real, momentum. And then it exploded to become one of the greatest, debut albums of all time. I think it was Appetite for Destruction, if I remember correctly, was one that was like a slow developer. Let's see. In 97, Oasis Liam Gallagher married actress Patsy Kensit in London. They'll get divorced 3 years later. In 97, the Chemical Brothers released their second album, Dig Your Own Hole. In 2001, Paul McCartney dropped nearly $4 million on a 4-bedroom home in Beverly Hills. He bought it from somebody. You might be able to figure things out at times when I do those things. What else do we have here? Also going on. Brett, I did not miss it. By the way, I saw your text there. We were talking birthdays and music history. So Leave It to Beaver. And I know Jay North just passed away from Leave It to Beaver, obviously, at the age of 73. He had a battle with cancer. So unfortunately, hearing the news of Jay North passing away over the weekend sucks. He passes away at the age of 73. And a favorite musician of mine, one of my favorite drummers of all time. Pay attention to when I say this, okay? He is a great drummer in his own right, okay? He is one of my favorite drummers. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite drummers of all time. One of my top 10 favorites to watch, to admire, to enjoy, okay? I'm not here to argue with you how good he is, where he ranks, or anything like that. He is great in his own right, and I will tell you why. But I love him. He is one of my favorite musicians, period, to watch and just enjoy the hell out of him. Clem Burke. Over the weekend, Clem Burke, the drummer for Blondie, passed away at the age of 70. According to the statement, following a private battle with cancer, Clem was not just a drummer, he was the heartbeat of Blondie. His talent, energy, passion for music were unmatched, and his contributions to our sound and success are immeasurable. And if you follow Blondie and you listen to Blondie, those drums are the heartbeat, and they carry that beat, and they are pounded with passion. He might be the most passionate drummer I have ever seen in my life. Okay. I might not call him the best. I might tell you he's definitely one of my favorites to watch. But I could argue he might be the most passionate drummer I have ever seen, sensed, felt from the audience. Okay? Just power. Beyond his musicianship, Clem was a source of inspiration both on and off the stage. His vibrant spirit, infectious enthusiasm, and rock-solid work ethic touched everyone who had the privilege of knowing him. He was born November 24 of 1954 in Bayonne, New Jersey. He played. Steve Calabro, Jersey guy. So I'm just thinking that right away. If Calabro was, he's a Jersey guy. No wonder you like him. Oh, he's a Jersey guy. He played in local bands during the 60s and early 70s. He then joined Blondie in 75, shortly after Deborah Harry and Chris Stein formed the band in New York City. He played drums on all their albums, starting in 76, self-titled album, yada, 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 all the way through. Okay. And then Burke spent the 80s and 90s playing drums with other bands. He had a regular gig with I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. The Romantics. How about that? All right. In 87, he performed with the Ramones as Elvis Ramone. As a session drummer, he played with Bob Dylan, the Eurythmics, Joan Jett, Iggy Pop, put on a damn shirt, Pete Townsend. He also played drums for artists as diverse as Wanda Jackson, Nancy Sinatra, members of the Go-Go's, and the Sex Pistols. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006, and it's more than deserved. He is a great, 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 great drummer. Okay? Love this guy, dude. Telling you. He is one of my favorite reasons to watch Blondie, to hear Blondie. Besides, of course, in her younger days, it was always beautiful to watch Blondie, but just Clem's power and passion came through those drums and that sound every single time. And maybe now that I've mentioned it, the next time you listen to Blondie songs, pay attention to those drums. His legacy will live on through the tremendous amount of music he created and the countless lives he touched. Rest in peace, Clem Burke. That was that one touched me over the weekend. I was like, damn, that sucks. What do we have here on the chat board? Big O, who should Miami take with the number 13 pick? I'll take a guard, bro. Membu. Okay, that's who I want. You just know that Greer is eyeing some players with lengthy injury histories in the draft. Let's see. Sean and or Frankie, what do you think about Ray Phoenix debut on SmackDown? You want to lay the SmackDown there, Sean Stanley?
I thought it was a good debut. They put him in with Nathan Frazier, and we'll discuss the rest on the Squared Circle Digest, Tuesday night, 7 p.m., Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel.
That's called the tease right there. By the way, my guy, Osmani Garcia and Omega Realty Group, he's got a guarantee for you. A guarantee that he's going to sell your house in 30 days or less, or he's going to buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is the real deal. And I've known Osmani like 15 years. He's been a sponsor with me throughout, on and off throughout many years. And so many of my listeners over the years have called Osmani to buy or sell a home or mortgages. I mean, he does it all. He's just absolutely amazing. But if you're serious right now about selling, pick up the phone. That's his cell number right there, 305-440-1990. And I know he delivers results. And he is the home of the 30-day money. I'm telling you, 30-day sale guaranteed. And the guarantees are backed by action. So call now. Don't wait. The market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call my guy, Osmani Garcia, 305-440-1990. Anywhere in Florida, by the way. Anywhere in Florida. Okay? All right. All these panicky investors give short-term its volatility, dips, and corrections, which savvy long-term investors can take advantage of and profit from. Yep, I'm with you there. And that's what I'm doing. Anywhere I can lower my dollar cost, lower my average, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Makes all the sense in the world. So, but you know what you're doing, Brett. And by the way, where is Bitcoin right now? Let's see. What's the latest with Bitcoin? What do I have here? We are at 77,721. All right. And the Dow is now down 903 points. The S&P is down 88. And the NASDAQ is down a point. So there you go. There you go. That's what we got going on. I am betting Frankie already ordered the mask. The bong mask? From Laramie Tunsil? Really? Oh, it's impressive, Frankie. Didn't know that was your thing. All right. Nice job by you, Frankie. That's all I can tell you. I gotta call it an impressive thing. All right. You guys got the Squared Circle Digest tomorrow, you said at 7 or 8?
Yes, sir. 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
7 p.m. tomorrow night for the Squared Circle Digest. How about that? I like that. What else do we have going on? Heat. Tough losses, huh? Damn, dude. Tough losses. I thought they can get one of those two at least. But man, either way, they've been playing well. I can't complain. It was tough for them. They really needed Hero the other night. They did. They really needed him. But overall, I'm happy with the way they're finishing the season. Now it'll be interesting to see if you end up in the play-in, can you get out of the play-in? That'll be nice to see if they can do that. If they do that, then that becomes a little bit more of a positive for the season. And then somehow, if you can end up with the 8th spot after you get out, and then you take on Cleveland, like I've told you, if you can steal a game or two, then, you kind of, considering all the crap, it'll be a decent ending to the season. It'll be a really good ending, actually, to the season. So now let's just kind of wait and see the Panther stuff. Look, don't panic about the markets right now. Stay strong. Do your homework. Don't go giving stuff away now, especially at a loss when maybe you've got an opportunity to wait patiently and make, same thing with the Panthers. Yeah, there's some volatility right now. There's some injuries. They're resting guys. Their team is worn out. Remember, your hockey team, okay, your Florida Panthers have had the longest 3 seasons in the NHL. Okay? Because they've been to the finals the last 2 years, and they've played all these games now up until this point. Nobody has played more games in the NHL than the Florida Panthers. And Paul Maurice knows that, and he knows what they need in the postseason. And if he's going to have his guys, he can't wear them out. So he's resting some guys. Maybe some of those injuries, they're not as serious, and maybe they're just being precautionary. Plus, it gave them some salary breaks too. So, they know they can't bring those guys back, right? I think till the beginning of the playoffs. I'm not worried about the markets right now. I am not worried about the Panthers right now. Okay? I put it this way. I'm more worried about Inter Miami getting past LAFC on Wednesday. Okay? I know the markets will turn around. I know the government will print because that's what they do best. I know the Panthers have been there and done it. They're more than experienced. They picked up a couple of real studs to help them out. These are things I am not worried about. Just like, some of you idiots out there that were picking on Spo. Like, how stupid is that shit? You're going to pick on Spo. Are you out of your mind? Okay, I'm not happy with the season. Spo is not my problem. I am not worried about Spo at all. I am grateful that Spo is always here. He's the best thing that organization has. Okay? Number one. So there are things that I can worry about that are legit. And then there are some things that I'm just, it's FUD. And right now I'll go with that. So Panthers will be fine. Panthers will be fine. We'll see what happens now with the Heat. Good, a good opportunity to pick up an easy win tonight. Got to take care of business. Got to find a way to get it done. Brett says, this is long-term thinking of yours is just crazy talk. Okay, LOL. Oh, man. Too funny. By the way, Ethereum at 1,500, 1,534. Not that I'm a financial advisor, but damn, that's a great price for people. Chainlink getting down to $11. Bargain. Not that I'm a financial advisor by any stretch. Telling you. Hedera, 14 cents. Very good. Mutable X, 38 cents. Man. Some deals. And Bitcoin, of course, is 77,000. Not bad. Not bad. Injective protocol all the way down to 7 cents. Damn, dude. Plus, you can stake it at around 12%. So that's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. All right, folks. Appreciate you all hanging in there with me. And on a late day that unfortunately I could not, I had to have that stress test and I had to get it done. And thank you for supporting us as always. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Help us get to Spain. Sean and I want to cover that game. Plus, we'll be there all week doing our show. We'll break any news. We'll do our pre and post game show from a Dolphins bar there in Spain. So And it'll be our first broadcast from a Dolphins bar internationally. That's pretty cool. All right. We are out of here. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow. Ira Winderman will join us tomorrow. David Feronis will join us tomorrow. Y'all be good out there. Much love.
This is the Big O Show.